Welcome to LexTalk World Talk Show presented by Clickaway Creators. Today we have Mr. Edward Walker with us. He is General Counsel for UK transport group Abellio. He is an internationally experienced General Counsel with 20 years of experience across a diverse range of industries. He has particular experience building legal, compliance, and risk functions from greenfield for business going through transformation and change, aligning the function with supporting delivery of the business strategy in the right way. His multidisciplinary teams have won awards for innovation in operational change. Thank you so much for joining us, Ed Walker, today. We are pleased to have you with us.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ed. And just to start with, if you can please brief us about your personal and professional journey so far in the legal space.
Yeah, I am, as you'll gather as a theme when we go through today, I think I prefer to call myself, instead of a lawyer, I prefer to call myself a business executive with a legal backpack. For me, that's an incredibly important distinction. And it's about perception, who I want the business to see me as, because I see sometimes the perception of a lawyer being slightly different, and I want to change that. As you mentioned, I've been working in a number of industries: retail, distribution, tobacco, downstream energy, and now transport. And I love working in lots of different sectors, finding out about business. And I suppose my main aim is to do something different. To really show them a different value than they've experienced in the past. So that's me as a in a nutshell. I suppose me personally, in amongst that, I try and be as good a husband and father to my 3 children as much as possible. And these days in lockdown, I actually managed to get a little bit of exercise done at the same time.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for giving that quick brief and on your personal and professional, both the aspects. And I think when you said that you want to be called as an executive working for a company with some legal background or with the legal expertise, that makes a lot of sense because, you know, these days I talk to a lot of lawyers, and this is a change that this industry is trying to bring, and which is a positive change. You know, by doing that, you become an integral part of a company and look towards the overall success and overall growth. So I really second you on that. Thank you so much for giving that a quick brief about yourself. Moving ahead, what do you think is the greatest barrier to innovation in in-house legal department?
I think there are two. The first one is easy. Okay, I think it is perception. It's self-perception of what we should be doing in the legal community and what we shouldn't be doing. And I think actually we need to blow that up, and we need to have a perception that we're a much wider beast and should have a much wider role, okay? But I think we grow up valuing something that is actually at times quite restrictive. Okay, so innovation comes from blowing the doors open and thinking of ways of different ways of doing things. And you've heard that from lots of people. But I think for me, and this is the one I have no answer for, but I think this is key to the innovation piece. Innovation starts small. Well, actually, that's my view. Innovation starts small. It's small people, small businesses are the ones that come up with the small ideas that are outside the normal and the change industries, okay? It doesn't come from big beast companies, not often. You know, Facebook did not start off big, it started off small, and they were able to do things completely differently, okay? And fantastic culture that they've got, they can continue to innovate. But most innovation starts small. The problem, the big barrier is funding. How do we fund that innovation for the small company, the company that with the small margin or the small budget, but who may have the next great idea? And I don't think we look at things in quite the right way at the moment to fund it in this industry. I often go to seminars and it's about big companies setting aside some budget for this, or they've got millions of dollars worth of legal budget and they'll set aside 10% for innovation. That's fantastic, but those are just 100 big companies with a big budget. But the real innovation is going to come from trying a new model that will fund directly a whole bunch of startups that that haven't got those resources. And I don't know what the answer is, but I'm absolutely passionate that that is needed to find the answer.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense to me. And you rightly said the innovation that comes by trying something, a completely new model, and that comes that starts very small, but this becomes big if you give them a chance. And you rightly said everything about that. We are also, as a company, are going through a transformation, because we used to host these seminars and these conferences, in different parts of the world for different industries. But then COVID came and struck, and then we realized, oh, we can't have people accumulating in a tight spaces, so we might have to do something else. And then we decided maybe we can see, the idea was from the beginning was to make sure that the information is freely flowing from every aspect or every possible way. So we thought maybe we can do it online, and now we are able to do that. And exactly this is what we're doing. We're trying to do with you. So the information that you're sharing, I'm sure a lot of people will be able to gather some knowledge from it, and will be able to become better, or maybe will have some ideas. And similarly, this is what we're really trying to do. So we used to do this at the conferences, and now we're doing it through online. So we evolved ourselves, and the innovation came up, and still we're able to run. All right, great. So thank you so much for letting us know about those barriers. And I completely agree with you that innovation is the key. Moving ahead, since you're a general counsel, and the role of a general counsel has evolved massively over the past 20 years, what do you see it going?
When I get asked that question, I think of a triangle. At the moment, I think a lot of companies are run on the model of let's call it a duopoly. The real decision makers for a company is CEO and a CFO, and I think that's fantastic, and it's worked well. But as business life has got more complicated, I am definitely seeing the role of the general counsel evolving to being like a triangle, to being another point at the center of the executive. CEO definitely, CFO definitely, and there's probably other ones in this complicated shape, but definitely a key part of the decision making, not just advising around the edge, but a key part of the decision making. This role. Now I say this role because I think it needs a change of title. Title is really important, because we started off in-house lawyer. Then there was a sort of, I don't really feel like an in-house lawyer. I think I'm a bit different. Maybe I'm a corporate counsel, okay? Maybe that doesn't really describe me. Maybe there should be something called general counsel. And then there's another sort of iteration, which is chief legal officer. These mean different things to different people, but they generally, in the eyes of a business person, is a perception of lawyer. And if you go with a perception of lawyer, in different parts of the world, you'll get different perceptions. And I suppose if you want to be part of the triangle, at the center of the organization, part of the core executive team, changing that perception is very important. I think it means changing the title. And whether that is chief administration officer, or what else did I write down earlier? Corporate services director actually is being used by some people. Anything that doesn't give a perception of a lawyer, that you may be by background a lawyer, but this the perception change, so you can be at that table. Now, not everyone wants to go there, but if you do want to go there, I think you need to jettison the title. I think you need to jettison some other stuff. I actually do think genuinely you need to jettison for your role legal privilege. Okay, you may manage people who have that, but you need to jettison it because it's a different role, and you need to learn new skills. Okay. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that people would have talked on your channel before, the T-shaped lawyer, the cone-shaped lawyer. I'm really taken by this concept that's come out in recent months of the O-shaped lawyer. If any of your people watching this haven't seen it, just put it into Google, O-shaped lawyer. That is actually the essence of what we should be doing. It's not just about the skills, okay, it's the hard skills, it's about the human skills. And I think those human skills are really what is going to make us differentiate ourselves and get us into that triangle.
Okay, that's absolutely new to me, and I would request if you can talk a little more about that O-shaped lawyer. I'm
Yeah.
sure this is going to be very helpful for our viewers.
Yeah, so if we start with the, I mean, hopefully people know about the T-shaped and the comb-shaped lawyer.
Comb-shaped, yeah.
So, yeah, T-shaped lawyer. You know, I am a expert on legal stuff. Okay, but maybe I have a thin knowledge across other areas. Comb-shaped lawyer, expertise in law, but maybe I've got expertise in other areas, and a veneer across the edge that comes from our experience. But the O-shaped lawyer stuff that I've read, and you know, I really do say people should check this out, some interesting stuff. It talks about human elements. I've just sort of got it here. Things like an open mindset, original thinkers. So that's the blow the doors open kind of mindset. Ownership. O is for ownership. Ownership of issues, ownership of risk, taking decisions and owning it. I suppose optimistic about possibilities. You know, let's just, again, blow open the doors. The world's our oyster. That's another O. And the other one was opportunist. Take opportunities. And actually that's difficult because we're not trained that way. We're trained to, maybe we are trained to be a bit conservative, take less risk, but actually we need to grasp opportunities. So I really like this piece of work that's going on at the moment that people should check out on the internet, on LinkedIn and what have you, this concept of these human skills, which are the ones that are really important. So you want to be a comb-shaped lawyer and an O-shaped lawyer. Ooh, and that will mean that we're ready to be there at the table as part of the triangle or the square or whatever else, but absolutely not the advisor, but key part of running these businesses. Pretty exciting.
It's pretty exciting, and I think I was talking to the GC from Boeing a week back, and he exactly said the same thing, that the lawyers are supposed to be on the driving seat now. You can't be sitting at the back seat and taking a safe zone, and maybe nothing comes onto you. You will have to take nasty decisions. You will have to be a part of the core committee members, core committee team, and you have to make sure that the decisions that you're taking, you are taking complete responsibility from them for those decisions, and that's how you drive things ahead. And I completely agree with you. And that's where the conversation started, I believe, and you said that you want to be a part of that core team. You want to be in the right in the center of that triangle, which completely makes sense.
And with every strategy, you need to make decisions about what you do and what you don't do. Okay, and I think actually that's actually the core thing for people who are general counsels. And there's lots of different variations of general counsel. They're all right because they're, it's a good and nice legal answer. They're all right because it depends on the industry, what your maturity of your business is, what the business at that stage wants from you, and your own skills. But you need to make choices. And I think for those of us who really want to be the business executive with a legal backpack at the table, with a much wider role that's not driven by this sort of perception of lawyer, you need to jettison some of the things that are holding you back. And that is quite scary, but it will also be quite empowering.
Absolutely. Perfect. I completely agree with you on that. And some great discussion is happening here. So I really like the conversation. Moving ahead, as a legal professional, I would also like to talk from a perspective that you have been in this industry for more than 20 years now, but we have these young lawyers, young legal professionals coming over, and I think this is for them. So what are those three core values that you truly believe in? And from those three values, the young lawyers, the young legal professionals can also learn.
Wow. Actually, the first thing that somebody did teach me that I've never, ever taken it on board, but I should have done, was a partner at a law firm said to me, Ed, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay? Yeah, but I want to go places. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And anybody starting out on this needs to know that, because you've got to pace yourself to get there, otherwise you will burn out. So it's not really a value. I think one of them is honesty, and that's personal honesty. Okay, it's okay, and more okay than it ever was, to show weakness. Okay, and actually some of the greatest relationships between GCs and CEO were based on each of them showing the other weakness. It's really important. Otherwise, you've got a completely ridiculous relationship. The CEO's got to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm worried. What do I do? Okay. And the GC's got to say, oh, I don't know either. Okay. But together we'll do it. Okay. That kind of weakness, which is a strength, is something which is not tolerated, maybe tolerated a bit more now, but it's embraced a lot more now. And if you can embrace that early on in your careers, you'll go much further, because people like to help other people. And if you start off with this barrier around you that's preventing that honesty, then you'll slow your career down, weirdly. So honesty, I think, is one value. I suppose, I don't know if it is a value, but tenacity, as in keep going. I mean, it is not an easy career. It is not, definitely in-house at this kind of level is not a 9-to-5 job. I think it feels like it is a 24/7, 365 job. And at a certain level, it should be. Because if you want to start running the business, it's not a 5-day-a-week job. Yeah, you've got to show something. And I think the other piece of a value is compassion. Maybe it's related to honesty, but actually, I think you can't survive as a long-term without and growing your career without compassion for other people, trying to lift them. I mean, one of the things that I said to myself when I got this particular job is, remember, Ed, well done you. I mean, fantastic that you've got this job in a fantastic company. Remember to pull somebody up after you, okay? And I hope I don't forget that, and if somebody, somebody should hold me to that, pull somebody up with you, have compassion for other people, whatever they're going through, because it will rebound on you. And you will get the benefit from it, but actually, there's a lot of people out there in need, and it will reflect on you if you show that compassion. They're not legal skills, they're not legal values, but actually they're personal values, actually. And, I'm sure I fall foul of them often, but I think they're the ones that mean the most to me. So
I completely agree with you.
Honesty and tenacity.
Absolutely, I agree with you. These are personal values, and people in any trade and anywhere, if you're working or you have your own business, you're an entrepreneur, or you create jobs or you do jobs, in both the situations, you can follow them. And I think my favorite one was when you said that you should always be able to you are a great leader if you're able to create leaders, as simple as that, So if you are able to, you got this job and it was fantastic, but if you are able to create more people around you who can do that job in the right manner or with the right accuracy, then you have actually done that job pretty heartfully. And thank you so much. So with that, we come to the end of this quick chat, and thank you so much for taking out time. We really appreciate you sharing those great insights with us. I'm sure this is going to be a great session for all of our viewers. For our viewers, if you like the session and want to have more coming from industry leaders like Ed, please follow us on our YouTube channel, which is Clickaway Creators YouTube channel. Follow us, share this video, subscribe to our channel to have more content coming over. Thank you so much and have a great day ahead.